Whoa, welcome back. All right, so let's talk about the mommy Zee'S 4 a.m. cooked story, pick me versus feminist. Let's talk about this one. I know you guys have probably seen other people talked about this maybe over a week ago, 2 weeks ago, but she was still trending today. So I was like, you know what? Maybe it's high time I talk about this. Some people are saying their favorite. Let me see. Okay, 1, 4, and 6. I wonder what 1, 4, and 6 is because I forget very easily. 1 is loving freely. Number 4, adaptive sexual polarity. I like that. 6, active giving. Awesome. Love it. And I see Obsidian says 4 of 7. Adaptive sexual polarity. Awesome. Love it. I think that's important too, But yeah, let's talk about Mommy Zee'S. Do you guys know who Mommy Z is? Anybody know who Mommy Z is? Or you don't? If you don't know who Mommy Z is, Mommy Z. If you don't know who that is, do me a favor. Say 1 in the chat. And if you know who that is already, and this is a conversation that you thought we should have had, put a 2 in the chat. Mommy Z on Twitter. She's some lady that got popular, that went viral last week. And it was I've been listening to it. At one point I was like, I don't want to talk about this stuff, what is there to talk about, but everybody's still talking about it. So I said, we should talk about it here too. Okay, so I see 1, so a few people have seen it somewhere. Okay, awesome. So let me bring us up to speed for those that don't know what we're talking about. There's a small article here on Blueprint NG that did a great job breaking it down, and then we'll talk about what I think. Twitter's Mommy Z, a grass to grace story on blueprint.ng. It says Deborah Olaki, a Lagos-based mother and geoscientist, embarked on a journey she never anticipated when she took to. That's the lady in the one that's right next to me in the pink shirt. Okay, that's what we're talking about right now. All right, let me see. Okay, yeah, so she never anticipated when she took to Twitter to express a humble Christmas wish for a bedside fridge. Little did she know that this seemingly ordinary request would snowball into a whirlwind of generosity, forever altering the course of her life. It all began on December 29, 2023, when Mommy Z, as she's fondly called on Twitter, shared a picture of the small fridge she wished for. Her heartfelt plea resonated with the online community, but it was a subsequent tweet that set the stage for the unexpected turn of events. In a candid revelation, Mommy Z disclosed that she wakes up at 4:50 a.m. every day to prepare her husband's lunch. A routine sparked by a moment of concern. Her husband, a classroom science teacher named Abiola Adebisi, expressed worry about her not having the life she deserved due to financial constraints. This tweet stirred both admiration and criticism. Right? With discussions about gender roles and marital dynamics unfolding on the platform. However, amidst the debate, a group of like-minded individuals rallied around Mommy Z, sparking a chain reaction of support. Mommy Z, who had initially requested a modest fridge, was soon overwhelmed by the outpouring of generosity from Nigerians. Contribution flooded in, with the notable involvement of companies such as Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NLPCL, in Phoenix, Nigeria, and the National Information Technology Development Agency. NLPLC offered a free. Okay, so I think they skipped something here. Let me see. There was part of the conversation that I don't see in this card. I'm just going to stop reading that, okay? So basically, it was an outpouring of love everywhere for her, okay? There was outpouring of love everywhere for her. So, but one of the things that was part of the rhetoric that I've seen is that I think something about some potential work wife was bringing the husband spoon, extra spoon to eat. Am I correct? Please correct me if I'm wrong. Something like that, right? And then she now finally, like, whoa, like extra spoon to eat, bitibao. And then she now said, well, I want to make sure I prepare your lunch for you at 4:50 a.m. I'll wake up every day and do it before you leave. And that was one of the, let me see if I can see more, because I don't want to butcher I want to see if I can quickly find it. Okay. Let's see. That's not what we're looking for. Let me see. Okay, she cooks for her husband despite being so she's also pregnant. Okay, she's also pregnant. I think I might have found it. Let me see. Mommy Z has sent social media users into a frenzy after sharing a clip where she cooked Indomie noodles for her husband. Okay, so she's sharing videos as well. She actually shared a picture. Let me show you what we're dealing with here, right? Okay, so that's her. Okay, and I guess a lot of people were admiring that, right? This was after Indomie company fulfilled its pledge. Okay, so this is after, right? I'm trying to get back to the backstory. Also, as of today, Indomie Nigeria sent some pack of noodles or something like that. All right, and there's a tweet here that I smiled all through watching this. So a lot of people are finding her story inspiring. Okay, but there's some hidden stuff here that we need to talk about. We're getting there. Let me see. Okay, all right, there's some hidden stuff here that we need to, as usual, when you see stuff going viral, there's a good chance you might need to go the opposite direction. Let me just warn you right now. Okay, there's a good chance, particularly with regards to application in your personal life. Okay, there's also a post here where she's apologizing or something like that. Nigerians drag her, not Nigerians, I think the feminist, the weirdo feminist on the internet, not the actual feminist, the weirdo ones. Okay, they probably dragged her. Okay, I'm looking at the post here on Linda AKG. Says Mommy Z apologizes after Nigerians dragged her over her recent tweet days after they donated massively to her for waking up by 4 a.m. to cook for her husband. Now, on the surface, as a simple fact of life, there's absolutely nothing wrong with a woman waking up, choosing to wake up at 4:50 a.m. to cook for her husband. Why would anything ever be wrong with that? Right? But there's more to the story. There's more to it. Okay. Mommy Z became the beneficiary of millions. We already know that. I've always been I think this is the original tweet from. Let me see. I've always been too lazy to wake up and get his lunch ready. But the day he told me a colleague brought 2 spoons. There you go. I think I found it. Finally, I found it. This is the actual tweet here. Okay. All right. I'm coming to the chat though because I want to know what you guys think about this. We're talking about Mommy Z now. Okay. This is the actual chat. I've always been too lazy to wake up and get his lunch ready. But the day he told me a colleague brought 2 spoons, so he will hit with her, keyword her, was the day I set my alarm for 4:50 a.m. And then somebody said there's a lady that wakes up at 5 a.m. to make her husband lunch for work. Okay. And basically it took the whole world into a frenzy. And that's what we're talking about today. But before I continue, there might be some more details here. Let me come to the chat. All right. Let's see. Oh, that story. I keep seeing it, but didn't go into it. Okay. He has entered. Brother Ben has entered the chat. Brother, what's going on, bro? The best wife ever. Vote for Mommy's Biko. All right. Now, when you say the best wife ever, this reminds me of who does it remind? It reminds me of Dotun. I'm not comparing it to Dotun, by the way. It reminds me of Dotun saying that, saying to Tunji T-Bills, ex of Tiwa Savage, saying, yeah, you only did because you have the best, because you have something like that, something like you have a good baby mama, a good woman. Only if T-Bills will tell you his story. But anyway, that's what that remember. The best wife ever. Awesome. Fine woman, troublemaker. Chidima, I see you. Okay. Oh, for real? I'll go check it out. Everyone living in Aja wakes up before 5 a.m. That is a good point, Marriott. We're already uncovering small, right? Does she live in Aja, first of all? Let me make sure before I do my bed. Does she live in Aja or somewhere around that? Well, if she lives in Lagos, everyone kind of wake up at 4 a.m., Context matters, as always, right? All right, so that's one, but somebody confirm it for me. Let me know if she lives in Lagos or somewhere around Aja. We'll get to it in a second. I want to send money to her too, but Ben says she's a better wife. In fact, she got my vote anytime, any day. Why? Why not? Because again, there's nothing wrong with a wife choosing to wake up. In fact, it's applaudable. In fact, let me applaud. Before we continue, I must applaud this woman because we have more to talk about here. All right, so Chinima said it was her husband that brought it to her. Brought what? The fridge or what? Or the story? Braben said Chidima won't wake up at 4:50 a.m. to cook laye. I want to see what Chidima says to that. She didn't hear it from third party. She heard the what? I'm missing something. I've forgotten something. I'll catch it in a second. Will you tell your wife if you had a work wife? Okay. All right. I think she's pregnant, and is that considered a work wife? I'm not sure if she's working. Beno, you're a wala person. Wala. Ola always say, tell me more. This case shows why we need to hear more. Thank you, Chidima. Chidima, my G. Thank you so much. You deserve an applause. Where's the rest of the story? Where's the rest of the story? Okay, we need the rest of the story. Every relationship has the rest of the story. There's some principles, as I always say, there's manuals. There's some principles that are guiding principles. However, a one-liner cannot do it for anybody, not just me, for anybody. A one-liner like, oh, you woke up at 4:50 a.m., you cook for your husband. It's like, congratulations, but what else? What else is going on? Right? What else is going on outside of the corporate? Nigeria corporations have now jumped on this trend and they are now using it to make money, right? You know what they do? That's one of the things that push us into the ditch. The corporations will basically jump on any kind of trend, regardless of what kind of damages it's creating. And because why would this possibly ever create a damage? Why would this ever create a damage? Because, like I said, just that information is applaudable, right? But there's something that we always talk about. There's 4 focus points that I always talk about here. And these are the 4 focal points. Okay, as if you're dealing with, these are the 4 focal points: friendship, sex, expectations, pride, and ego. Number 3, keep 3 in your mind as we continue this conversation. Let's keep 3 in our mind, right? Let me come back to the chat. Yes, so the ones that don't really know what feminism means. Yes, there are many slow people on the internet, women that don't know what feminism means. Just keep that at the back of your mind too. Make I tell Omo Ibo say I dey chop another woman food for work. That means you won't collect be that now. Right? Anyway, but the man came and told the wife, right? That's what you guys are saying. And told the wife there's a spoon. Extra spoon he gets from. Okay, I see. That's what I was missing earlier. If you know what things is, still don't show me. No fighting. So the early morning cooking was triggered by fear of kayamata or not, and not love. Okay, D love is going somewhere. She's getting somewhere already, right? You see, there's many moves we can make in our relationship. I gave you about 7 of them earlier. I call them the 7 rituals, right? You definitely need to internalize what I shared on that, right? And if you notice, there's one particular one. In fact, 2 people said it's their favorite, which is the active giving, right? And there are 2. You can group the reasons why we do things in relationship into 2 different categories. You can group them into 3. You can. There's the categories. The first category is short-term benefits. The second category is long-term benefits. Okay. Most short-term benefits are driven by fear, right? So now, again, like I said, there's nothing wrong on the surface. The idea of cooking for your husband at 4:50 a.m. if you want to do it at 2 a.m. That's perfect, especially if he wants it, especially if he appreciates it, right? If he doesn't appreciate it and is the public only that's appreciating it, it's not good enough. Are you paying attention? If he doesn't appreciate that 4:50 a.m. and it's only the public that's appreciating it, it's not good enough. Okay, now we're talking about projecting. Okay, so the main theme today, projecting AF. There's a lot of projection going on in this internet streets when it comes to relationship advice. There's a reason why they wrote the book 5 Love Languages. There are actually more languages than the 5. It's just an easy way to kind of like soak it in and at least understand there's such a thing as love languages. I've heard men, black men, say, get out of here with that love language nonsense. I've heard men that are struggling with their relationships say that. I promise you I have. I know what I'm talking about, right? I know what you're thinking. They're struggling in their relationship, which is the reason why they're interpreting it that way. But they're actually actively saying, I bet forget that love language nonsense.
Not be juju be that.
Right? But this is what we're dealing with today, okay? But anyway, so everyone is projecting. We're noticing a lot of projection everywhere. But let me come to the chat. So that's what D-Love is already driving at here. Like, is it because of spoon that you're cooking at 4:50 a.m. or for other reason? Is it for a short-term gain? Can you sustain this? What about long-term? Can you keep this up? Right? Let's say you become a working wife. Can you keep it up? Right? Okay, let's say you can keep it up. The people that are interpreting this on the internet, when they hear 4:50 a.m., their brain is interpreting forever. The reality of this young lady might be, hey, it's just the space where I'm at right now. I'm in love, right? But they don't have that context, and they would never have that context. But they would transfer these same expectations to their own relationship, and you know what's going to happen when they do that, right? Tell me, anybody knows what's going to happen if you transfer this to your relationship? You go collect.
Sorry.
All right, so yeah, I'm just saying, dear, easy, right? I think it's cute. That's why I say it's cute. I think it's cute that she wakes up in the morning and does. But for me to just randomly cast this on everybody and encourage you, because I know what the next question is like. Ola, why are you misleading this woman? You want to discourage? No, I'm not discouraging. I know that the reality is far from your fantasy. It's not going to happen on a consistent basis. In fact, there are women right now looking at this. Oh, that's so cute. Wow, the world is in a place, like, and they're like, I want to do that, and then they will do for 2 weeks, and in real life we're kicking, and then everybody don't move on, But anyway, let's keep going. Chidima says, then don't ask for Mommy Z treatment. Men are leaders. It was the man's action that created Mommy Z's reaction. That's a good point. Wow, cool, but I do wonder if she would have received the same generosity if she said she woke up at the set time to cook for her children. I guess that one is a natural expectation. Oh yeah, that's not something you say thank you for, since she's supposed to do that anyway, right? Anyway, Obsidian says, Lola, love to join the community if you don't mind. Listen, just because you ask, okay, I'm gonna do that. I usually leave the joining till the weekend, but I'll drop it. I'll drop the link real quickly. If you want to come in real quick and chime in on that, absolutely, why not? All right, so I just dropped the link. But what a society! Continue, wife. No one will ever bring a second spoon. Now that you're cooking your high sodium ramen, I don't think it's ramen in Nigeria. I think ramen is here, right? In the United States. Do they have ramen in Nigeria? I think that's the brand name for Indomie, right? That he can't spend 2 minutes cooking himself. What he do? He has to cook himself. I don't think anything's wrong with her cooking for him. I think that's a good thing, you know. I think that's a good thing. Hola, bro Ben's code, bro. Oga Ben's bro code is annoying sometimes. No, don't get annoyed with Rabeno. Let's see. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I missed anything. Yeah, them know well. It means they don't want to improve their relationship. Make them they play. They are also new in marriage, so honeymoon phase might be a factor. Yes, I think she said, husband, we are just married. Or she said something to that effect, right? I saw that somewhere. So that would make her want. She should want to cook for you at 3 a.m. in the morning if she's new to all of this. If she's heads over heel and stuff like that. But we should encourage it forever. Well, no, I'm not encouraging anything that's not sustainable. How's that? Okay, I'm not encouraging that. There's a bell curve of some sort. It's gonna be a high, and there's gonna be like flat out, and then there's a flat where you might actually enjoy the rest of your life. But the way the Indomie generation brain is set up, when I say Indomie generation, or everybody on the internet, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, the way their brain is set up is unrealistic expectations everywhere. Okay. And it doesn't exist. Whatever it is that's fantasizing about doesn't exist. Okay. How come no woman in this chat is supporting Mommy Z? That is a good question. But I saw some women. The women that were supporting her, they were also. I saw them on the internet. The women that were supporting her, they're capping.
Stop the cap.
They are capping big time. Okay. Well, I don't say that, though. Some people do that. There's nobody that does that forever. Okay. Nobody. It doesn't exist. Okay. They have faces. They have moments. There are people that want to do it. They actually do it at different phases, right? In the relationship, and they encourage doing it. But if you go and look at their track record, they have shown their husband water at some point. I'm telling you, you set yourself up for failure. I'm surprised she didn't cook the lunch the day before and pack it like normal people. Someone is lying. Now, why would a person who cooked the lunch the day before and have it packed for you to easily warm, why would that person not get the same treatment, the same accolade? That is a question for every one of us, right? Why would a person who did the preparation make sure it's ready for you, and you can just easily grab it from the freezer and warm it up, or warm it up at the canteen or cafeteria, microwave, right? Why would that person not get the same treatment? I'll tell you why. Because one is fantasy, the other one is reality. Anyway, Auntie Mommy Z did not work colleague the Judy Austin, her husband. Yes, I think I saw Summer Aku say something like that. She didn't want her husband to be Judy Austin. The only way to make sure that your husband is not Judy Austin is to work on yourself. The only way to get anything close to guaranteeing it, there's no guarantee, by the way, but the only way to get anything close to guaranteeing it is just focus on yourself and work for, like I said, active giving earlier anyway, so you'll be giving anyway, but there's also a place you get you overgive and the effect of it is not useful, right? So the idea of trying to manipulate situations so that people will not have bad behavior, it's not yeah, you gotta be careful with that. That's all. Hit that like button, I beg. Thank you so much, Misty EE. I appreciate you. Is the weekend though? Ola, snow day does not count. What do you mean? Are we in the weekend? It's weekend right now. I dropped the link. Oh, did you guys get the link? I didn't see the person. Nobody's in my studio. But yeah, it's not week. I don't really have weekends. I meant weekend for you guys. She appreciate her husband. Una think say husband material still remain for market. You're right. There's no husband material. I wonder why, Brother Ben. Why do you think Okoshi Wolode? That's a good question. Why is there no husband materials in market today? I don't have issue with 4 a.m. cooking. Natu, where have you been? I don't have issue with 4 a.m. cooking, but it is because of spoon. I won't cook bikono. See, again, motive, purpose. You need strong purpose behind whatever you do to make it sustainable. If the purpose is short term in nature, do the math. Will it work, right? That's the part of the conversation they're not having. Now, the feminist people are dragging her because they just want to, they can't even wait to hear the whole story. They just want to drag the, no, I will never do that. Me, I like my sleep and all that. It's actually false. If you are in love with a person, you do anything. You do anything. If you are in love, if you are capable of being in love. If you're not capable of being in love, then that's where it stops. We don't have to talk about the spoon at 4 a.m. You're just not capable of being in love. I've heard women on this internet street say they cannot love a man because the man is useless for nature. Okay? So if that kind of person start to rant about this topic, I'm probably not going to engage them because they have nothing to contribute to this topic. All right? The pick me's are saying, this is so nice. Let's go and check your track record. Are you waking up 4 a.m. every day? Right? It's not about the 4 a.m. anyway. It's really not about the 4 a.m. It's about giving to your partner, you know. It's about giving to your partner. It's about being a helpmeet, but it's also about serving, right? But that's not any one particular event. That's not any particular time of the day. All right, there's so many things that's moving in life, and we can't just zone in on 4 a.m. and say it's about 4 a.m. It's just, if anything, it's either you have no experience or you're fantasizing about a world that simply does not exist. Okay. I live in Nigeria too. My mom does. We cook the night before for packed lunch. It makes no sense to start cooking lunch at 4:50 a.m. 0 cents. No matter. Right? So, now I understand what she's saying. You don't have to lose your sleep for that. There are other solutions you can come up with that works for everyone. But if that's something you enjoy doing, by all means, knock yourself out. Here's where you go wrong. When you set that as expectations up for everybody else. That's where you go wrong. You might just be preaching that to your children as an absolute, and then they will start looking for that in the marketplace, and it really just doesn't exist. Okay? My husband is not a foodie, so anytime he asks for something and at any time he gets it, but he will never wake me up at 4 a.m. to cook. He will rather take snacks. All right? And that's a form of giving from his part. Now, if he wakes you up at 4 a.m. like, did you see your mate? What is wrong with you waking up to cook lunch for me at 4 a.m.? You know, a part of me wants to say, no man would do it. Men are not stupid like that. They won't do that. A part of me really wants to say that. But in the last few days, I've heard some shit in this internet streets, and I'm like, listen, never say never. Okay? But now, to the way I love my sleep, can't imagine waking up at 4 a.m. to make breakfast. Well, it's a matter of if you are in love. That's what it comes down to. When you are in love, you hang out at the club with that person. You hang out what's this saying I'm looking for, right? Unholy hours of the day, hanging out with this person because you just love being around them. You do things for them that you never thought you would do for a person because you're in love, right? This is where I push back against that. You can cook for somebody at 4 a.m. You can. If you feel like you will never do that, it's because you're not in that space mentally and emotionally right now. And you have the right to say that. But people that are doing that, they might, just keep in mind, they might have said that before, that I will never, until they get caught up in their emotions and then they'll find themselves doing things. Okay? But that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a person that you started a journey together. They're so in love with you, and they're like, I find myself hanging out with you on the phone for 3 hours. I've never been on the phone for 3 hours with anybody in my life. God forbid, bad thing. But with you, I'm looking at the time, it's been 5 hours because it's emotional. Okay? That's where majority of these things fall. That's where they fall in. Okay? So it's not something you can say, I can never. Anytime you use the word never or always,
why the fuck you lie?
It's a lie. It's just a lie. It's exaggeration. Okay? You might not be aware that it's a lie, maybe we shouldn't call it a lie. Let's call it this year one, right?
Abba is a lie.
We've all done things that we will say we will never do, because you're feeling a person like that, But the point I'm trying to make with this topic is that it's not sustainable to set that up for yourself as an expectation, and you're not helping anybody, teaching people or trying to encourage people to expect that. Even though you might think you're teaching people to do this because it's just our standards and values, what you're doing is you're setting people up with unrealistic expectations, and they will probably fall on their face. So it's like the two extreme of both sides of this conversation. Drive safe, not to. So newlywed husband too finds it cool to be collecting spoon from another woman. Another angle. Where's the rest of the story? I can't make anything out of that because that doesn't. They didn't say that's part of the story. Kemi. Chinima said another angle. Social media likes lies. That's why. Yep. And the corporations, they love it when you love it. If it's trendy, they will put money behind it just to put their product in front of it. You got to pay attention to these things. You have to, okay? You have to pay attention to these things. Ola, why did you lie? You put TB Joshua on the thumbnail and you're talking about something else. See? Now marketplace, now packaging. I will still talk about TB Joshua, by the way. Let me see here. Responses to Benno. I'm not supporting her. My own thing is that I don't have any issue with someone cooking for her husband, but if her motive because of co-worker, I no go. Yeah, it's the purpose. The purpose has to be stronger than just some fictitious on the surface level so they don't take your husband. Your energy is focused in the wrong direction. They probably will end up taking your husband. If you keep that up as a thing, for her, not necessarily, she's in love. She's newly wedded, okay? So it's not really a big deal. But for those that would take that as expectations and cast it on their own relationship, every single one of them, they'll collect.
Sorry.
Well, make everybody do whatever keeps men faithful, period. No, the only thing that keeps men faithful is purpose. A man on a mission, on a purpose, it simply does not have time to disrespect himself. Okay. Now, there are environmental factors. There are factors around that can influence a certain behavior. Let's say, for example, that thing they will always say exists. Somebody just want to weaponize sex. Is it food, right? Of course, that can influence. But if it's a man on a purpose, he will probably not want to put himself in danger like that. There's a chance, okay? But everybody can be weak. Nobody's wholly past, right? But what I'm saying is that there's a less chance, okay? There are lower chance that a man will, because of that, go and cheat. Instead, he will be busy figuring out what is going on with my wife, right? Because he loves his wife. He has no reason, and he has a bigger purpose than just bekus for one day, right? But if a man is just moving around life like a lost chicken head, sex is always welcoming. It's always attractive, especially if it's new, right? New bekus, right? The only thing better than bekus is new bekus. You ever heard that saying before? But that's a man that's not on a mission, that's not on a purpose, and majority of men are like that. So that doesn't mean all men are cheating. What I'm saying is that what makes a man to not cheat is ultimately it's not another human being. He's himself. Okay? If he has a need, he has other ways. If he's a man on a purpose, a man that's identified his life mission, if he has a need, like enrara, like flesh, a need of the flesh, he has his way. He will get what he needs without putting himself in harm's way or putting his family in harm's way. All right? And it's not because he's holy. He positioned himself to not be in a place of temptation like that too. He understands that he's a human being, but he's not going to position himself in a place where he can move like that. So everybody should do whatever to keep their man faithful. That's not going to keep a man faithful. I'm sorry, God. I'm sorry. I've been no big quick to the talk. No, nothing. The cooking food in the morning cannot stop that one. Bro Ben, cooking food in the morning cannot stop that one if you are that kind of person now. But Ben, don't do me like this now. Women need to understand that a man will cheat if he wishes. You can't control him. You took it out of my mouth. Me, I don't eat some same soup 3 times a week. At least there must be 2 or 3 types of soup. All right. That also means you probably know how to prepare it. Right? Somebody just said, man of precious, no need to explain it. There is need. I make money from this. There's always need for me to explain. It's you that you don't need to shalaye. Somebody just left that comment. I see it popping up on my device here. At least there must be 2 or 3 types of soup. Yeah, that means you know how to make it happen, right? That's what that would mean, right? Well, that's what the wife is there for. Yeah, sure. If your wife is doing that, that's beautiful, right? I think if you paint that picture for other men, a lot of them are going to be, they will be trying to sit on a toilet roll. And you're there, you're just watering the toilet roll. They all will collect, all of them, you know. Did the husband share the meal or not? That's a good question. There are so many questions, right? Both extremes are lying. Exactly, Mario. That's the point we're making here. Both extremes are lying. That's the point we're making here. Me and your sister don't fight tire. When she realizes she's not gonna win the battle, madam accepted her fate. Wala. She should continue cooking, please. I support her. I also support her husband to share a cooler with his work wife and all the other things they do together. Misty said, Ola, my love got limits. Every human being's love has limits. That's why you need the GPS. GPS. God, purpose, self. Okay? God, purpose, self. The only source of unconditional love is God. And if you're going to have a long-term relationship or play marriage, you will need God. And if you're not a believer in God, just think of it as gratitude. Okay? So that's key right there. That's key. So every human being has limitations because they have expectations, you know. But I also know that that's the same reason why they get caught up in their emotions. That's the same reason why they get caught up in their emotions and they go mad. And then now they expect the other person to give back, and then they start to take, and it just doesn't work out like that, right? So sorry for my kidney today. Let me see. I have Brother Ben here. Brother Ben. Brother Ali.
Brother, how far now?
Where you did? Where you done this since now? I haven't seen you in a minute.
I cook my day. I did. Now I don't want to put mouth for TB Joshua and stuff. That's why I just stay my name.
I understand. Yeah.
You know? But this one where you they talk of Mommy Z and where all my sisters them, everybody just they para. They not even feel support the woman. Everybody just they complain. Why would she cook 5 a.m.? Why would she wake up 4:30 a.m.? See woman we value her husband. They do what they go make her husband happy. Yeah, I don't get it. Brother, you are laughing now, brother.
No, I'm laughing now because she should do what she has to do to make her husband happy, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. The only thing I disagree is that will make him faithful. I disagree. That's not necessarily true. The only thing I disagree is that will automatically make him faithful. That's not true.
Brother, some things make men faithful, but in Nigeria anyway.
Like food?
You can't tell.
Like food, like lunch food.
Brother, let's be honest about something. I'm of this opinion that when men cheat, their cheating don't necessarily make them have trouble with their wife and decide they want to leave their wife. But the moment they start eating that woman food, the woman they are cheating with, the moment they start eating from her pot, her plate.
Well, food. You're right in a sense,
the man
right?
is about to leave the wife, so.
So you're right in a sense in terms of food. If it's too comfortable just eating your food, you know, that's an indication of many other things going on already. That obviously there's attraction going on. You're sitting together, lunch every day, you're eating food. There's stuff going on there, right? I understand, but it's the stuff that's going on behind the scenes that we need to focus on, right? Not the food, right? And if it's borrowing food, spoon, Jerry, spoon. Right? It's not a big deal. But I think what people are saying is that if this is the reason why you started waking up, you were not a person who woke up in the first place. But this is your reason to start waking up. How long is that going to last?
You know, brother, this thing is internet stuff now. She probably just responded sarcastically to that post.
She probably
X,
did.
And then people just, you know how we men, especially Nigerian men, how we like to blow something out of proportion just because it suits our narrative. I think that's just what happened there anyway. But then, knowing full well what's going on in Nigeria, a lot of women in Nigeria are actually doing, in fact, some of them do more than what she said she's doing. Let's just be honest.
What do you mean more? Like they wake up at 2 a.m.?
Not like 2 a.m., but some of
What do you
them
mean
are
by
actually they are doing a lot for their husband in Nigeria.
Most women do now. The point is that it doesn't have to be 4 a.m. There are people that wake up at 10 a.m. and do more than she does that this 4 a.m. girl does for her husband. We're making the same point.
If 4 a.m. is what works in her marriage, why can't she go ahead and do it? If that's what works for her.
So we are agreeing. We are agreeing now. We are agreeing. But you said more. You just left one point to go to another point. You said there are a lot of women that are doing more. I say I agree too. But more doesn't mean it's 2 a.m. It can mean that person wake up at 7 a.m. but they actually do more in the grand scheme of things. They actually do more for their husband, right? So we're on the same page there, you know.
Yeah.
But this see, you and I can understand that because we're seasoned. There are enough 22-year-old men that thought what you said meant 2 a.m. When you say more, they're thinking.
Oh, no.
They're thinking earlier. That's what I come here to spell out. I want to spell out everything so people don't think themselves into a ditch. Right?
No.
It can be 2 a.m. It can be 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody just have what they do to make their marriage works and all that. I see my sis, they chop my yash when I said, they blast me when I said I don't eat same soup 3 times in a week. And honestly, that's the way
they are actually being nice to you. I'm even surprised they're nice to you. They love you on this platform. You don't notice? Can you try that for Obodo Farm?
Chidima don't love me. Chidima is always choking my throat.
Can you try that for Obodo Farm, Brother Ben?
You know me now. I will say my mind. They will just drag. I will say my mind.
My point is that we know they drag here. They're very nice to you here. That's the point. But stick with me on this one because there's another topic I want us to cover together real quickly. Okay. Just hang in there real quick. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I think it's the extremes that we need to be careful with and just manage your expectations. Social media rhetorics are that for a reason. Let's be careful when we are listening to any of this stuff. But my question for anybody who is watching this, give me your thoughts. You've listened to this. You're probably going to give me your thoughts without watching the whole thing. There's a lot of people in my comment right now. They watch 1 minute and they start commenting. Mad people everywhere. But it's okay. I'll take it. I'll take it, But let me know what your thoughts are about Mommy Z. Is this something you're fantasizing about or you think is your reality? Tell me, or you're somewhere in between. I want to know what you think about this. I'll be back in about 20 seconds.
It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.